it could be political posturing. Bahagi ito ng kampanya niya.
He could be a material witness sa ICC, but he has to issue a sworn statement.
The investigation has gone on for too long. Napapanahon na talaga na maglabas ng warrant of arrest. Right now, no news is good news.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Basa in Manila. Two more prominent figures during the deadly war on drugs are joining the 2025 midterm elections. There's Kerwin Espinosa, the alleged drug lord from Eastern Visayas. He's running for mayor in Albuera, Leyte. That position was once held by his father, Rolando Sr., who was killed in jail in 2016. And then there's the man behind the drug war, former President Rodrigo Duterte. He's eyeing the mayoralty in Davao City. He held that post several times from 1988 to 1998, 2001 to 2010, and 2013 to 2016 before he became president. And these developments in the 2025 race are happening amid the drug war probe by the International Criminal Court. Let's follow up on that with lawyer Kristina Conti. She's an assistant to counsel at the ICC. Attorney, thank you so much for joining us. Ang sabi po ni Kerwin Espinosa, 1,000% willing daw siyang tumestigo sa ICC. Ano pong basa niyo rin sa timing niya?
Well, definitely, there is suspicion as to the timing. Dalawa ang tingin namin dyan. Una, it could be political posturing. Bahagi ito ng kampanya niya. Kasi ito yung campaign slogan niya, kumbaga. He had from 2018 to speak up on this, but he chose today to say that he knows something about the war on drugs. And second, of course, we cannot discount the quality or the probative value, yung believability of his testimony kasi hindi pa niya sinasabi. So, as mere expression, as mere intention, we take it as it is. But we really need to look at what he has to say. Sa ngayon, medyo malabo pa ang tingin ko na content ng sasabihin niya. Primarily because he did not mention anything at all about what he knows about the war on drugs. But there's one thing that's clear. He appears to be a victim, clearly falling within the parameters of the ICC's definition of a victim. Ang ibig sabihin kasi pag biktima ka, natamaan ka, na impact ka, or na adversely affected by the war on drugs. And in his case, with the death of his father, yes, is a victim. Also, he, as an heir or as the next of kin of his father, can be considered as a victim. Mukhang may masasabi siya tungkol dun sa insidente. However, I don't know what else. He said that he is a drug lord. I don't know his connections to the drug trade and to Duterte himself, and ultimately to the war on drugs. Kasi iba pa yung drug trade dun sa patayan. Although, dito nga sa Quadcom, mukhang nakikita natin isang buong criminal syndicate na lang ito.
Opo. And another point on believability, attorney, dahil nga dati noong umuusad yung trial laban kay then Senator Laila de Lima, isa siya sa mga nag-testify, but later on, nirecant po niya yung kanyang statement. So does this add to your suspicion ngayon tungkol dun sa kanyang sinasabi niya magiging willingness to testify before the ICC?
We could take it into context, and the weighing of his testimony will be up to the ICC investigators actually, not for us. Ang magagawa lang natin ay, kumbaga, tingnan, tanggapin, at kung sakasakali ay ipasa sa ICC kung hindi niya gustong makipag-ugnayan sa ICC ng derechahan. Kaya niya naman kasing gawin yon. At this point, you can readily search for it on the ICC website. Ang lalabas dito, if you remember the story of the boy who cried wolf, he has lied so many times, sabihin na natin. He might have lied about many other things, even not on record. But I don't think that it is a reason to discount him entirely, to exclude him from the conversation. Kung may sasabihin siya at maayos naman yung sasabihin niya, then perhaps we can vet that information independent of his previous activities or his previous, his history. The thing is, character evidence can be used mostly for the accused. At sa kaso na kinakaharap ngayon dito sa war on drugs, ang pinaka-akusado, kumbaga, ay hindi naman siya, kundi si President Duterte, Bato de la Rosa, Oscar Albayalde, and so forth. And anyway, wala pa naman tayo sa punto na ihaharap siya sa korte. Nandun pa lang sa ano ba yung ihaharap mo. Hindi pa nga siya nakakapag-execute ng affidavit. Hindi pa siya na-deposition. Yun yung video, pag-take ng video statement niya. Abangan natin kung anong sasabihin talaga niya.
Ano po yung inaabangan ninyo from Kerwin Espinosa that will make his testimony, if that will happen, material to the investigation?
Sa totoo, kahit na anong sabihin ni Kerwin Espinosa, basta patungkol sa war on drugs at dun sa patayan na nangyari, that would be material and relevant to the investigation. Ngayon kasi, kinukuha ng ICC lahat ng impormasyon tungkol dito. At kasi kailangan nilang tukuyin kung sino ang pinaka-responsable. Ibig sabihin, kailangan nilang alamin kung sino ang mga responsable. For me, what would make Kerwin Espinosa's testimony, sabihin natin, significant for the court and not merely corroborative, would be any statement as regards the perpetration of the crimes, as in the commission of the killings. If he knows about the hierarchy of command, if he knows about the reward system, if he knows about a quota, at meron pa ngang gusto kaming i-establish yung palit-ulo, naalala nyo pa ito yung parang sistema para magtukoy nung sino yung susunod na target. So the identification of the targets, the manner of the killings, and how to establish that these killings are systematic. If he can show that, if he knows about that, then that would make his testimony important and vital for the court.
And we'll be monitoring that. Now on to former President Rodrigo Duterte. May epekto po ba ang investigasyon ng ICC sa kanyang magiging kandidatura sa 2025 and vice versa?
To an extent, meron. While he's running as mayor, I think there will be significant developments from the ICC. On that front, the investigation is ongoing, and it might be possible that a warrant of arrest is issued against him or any of the other persons identified as suspects. We don't know, di ba? Because the investigation has gone on for too long, I think it's timely. Napapanahon na talaga na maglabas na or umaksyon na ng warrant of arrest at umaksyon na itong ICC. And we don't even know if there already is a warrant at this point. Now here's the correlation, or this is where being the chief executive could be important. So kapag nanalo na siya, okay, being chief executive also presumes that you have a little bit of control over your local PNP. So in the execution of a warrant, if the chief executive does anything or kumbaga hinders the execution of a warrant through his control or authority over the local police, then we don't know, maybe that warrant will not be affected. Or, and this is more, I don't know if likely or unlikely, hopefully not, there could be a standoff between the local PNP and national PNP officials regarding the execution of a warrant. Siya rin naman nagsabi niya yun, pinagbantaan niya na tayo na hindi siya pahuhuli ng buhay. Kaya inaasahan na parang ang iniisip ko nga, magbubuo siya talaga ng sariling team na pro-protekta sa kanya, ano man ang mangyari. At nakakatakot yon kapag bumalik siya sa pwesto.
I was actually going to confirm sana, attorney, because there have been reports about former Senator Antonio Trillanes saying na pwedeng magkaroon ng arrest warrant from the ICC come November. Ano po ang nalalaman nyo so far?
The thing is, the ICC is not compelled to announce anything at this point. and in its entirety, the investigation should be kept confidential, and we adhere to that. We follow that as possible participants during trial. We don't want to be held in contempt of any of the proceedings of the court. And secondly, of course, it's also for our protection. It's a security measure. And ito lang yung there are stages to the to this warrant of arrest that we're talking about. First, the request for it, second, the issuance, and third, the execution. At this point, the ICC has not announced any as regards the warrant. Wala siyang sinasabi tungkol dito. But we don't know if the arrest warrant has already been issued, applied for and issued, and it's just the execution. So right now, no news is good news because from what I see, it could be possible that they will not announce it until that moment na nakuha na nila si Duterte. Kaya we just wait. And all of this relies largely on the political will of the current administration. Unahan ko na, it is only the police, the national police, which can execute the warrant or which can pick up an accused based on a warrant of arrest of the ICC. Kaya kailangan may malinaw na utos mula sa kataas-taasan, sabihin na natin, para hulihin ng police ang kung sino mang magiging subject ng warrant of arrest ng ICC.
What if that will doesn't, in Gen Z speak, if the will won't be willing, meron pa bang ibang paraan ang ICC para maihain ang arrest warrant na ito?
Unfortunately, if the national police is unwilling to serve it, there is no other way for the ICC to execute the warrant within the Philippines. Mas ganun pa. Kung lalabas ng Pilipinas ang kung sino mang sa mga akusado or wanted at mapupunta sa lugar kung saan may jurisdiction ang ICC, then pwede. Kung makikipagtulungan or mapipilitang makipagtulungan yung police sa ibang rason, for example, dahil sa Interpol agreements nila, o kaya sa extradition request, o kaya sa exchange of prisoners. Nauso to kay Alice Guo, di ba? Na, bigay namin to, bigay namin yan. Maraming iba pang pwedeng pang-pressure dito sa gobyerno natin. Kaya, tingin ko, hindi lang siya simpleng gusto ko ba o hindi ko gusto. Kumbaga, political will, pwede pang magkaroon ng external developments dito.
And we'll put a pin on that conversation. But for now, thank you for your time, ICC Assistant to Counsel and Human Rights Lawyer, Kristina Conti.
Thank you.
And we continue our follow-up with another human rights lawyer, Neri Colmenares. He's also eyeing a seat at the House of Representatives this 2025 midterm elections. Attorney Neri, thank you so much for joining us. Ang sabi po ni Attorney Conti kanina, there's a bit of suspicion when it comes to Kerwin Espinosa's sincerity in testifying before the ICC dahil dun sa timing siguro ng kanyang pagsabi nito. What do you think of that?
We don't know the motives behind people saying this. No, of course, there is a risk also on the part of Espinosa by stating what he said, that he's willing to testify before the ICC. But presuming that what he's saying is true, if he has knowledge, personal knowledge of the extrajudicial killings and the responsible people behind it, of course, including President Duterte or the top officials of the PNP, including, of course, General De La Rosa, then he could, in fact, be a material witness doon sa ICC. But he has to issue a sworn statement. Otherwise, people will just think that he is just posturing or supporting his candidacy. But the moment he files a sworn statement, then that can be a source of his participation in any investigation, legal investigation and prosecution in the ICC.
And then, of course, from Kerwin Espinosa, there came si former President Rodrigo Duterte filing his candidacy for Davao City Mayor. kung sakali manalo siya no, bilang mayor ng Davao at kung sakaling sa panahong yon ihain ang arrest warrant ay maaaring maging komplikado po ito. How confident are you that an arrest warrant could arrive from the ICC?
Actually, under sa Rome Statute ng ICC, Article 26, irrelevant yung official capacity. Kay presidente ka, prime minister ka, o mayor, pwede ka talagang kasuhan sa ICC, nakalagay yan sa Rome Statute. In fact, para yan sa mga matataas na opisyalis, yung ICC, hindi yan para sa mga maliliit na mga rango, no? Pangalawa, in fact, doon sa ICC Article 27, nakalagay rin doon sa Article 27 ng Rome Statute ang krimen ng command responsibility. So, uh, pwede pa rin matuloy ang any investigation and trial against him kahit manalo pa siyang mayor. Let's see. And we hope na tindigan ng mga Marcoses ang kanilang mga sinasabing hindi nila sasagaan dahil matagal na humihingi ng hustisya ang mga biktima na hanggang ngayon, 2016, 2017 pa namatay yung kaanak nila, hanggang ngayon, 2024 na, hindi pa rin nagkaroon ng hustisya ang pagkamatay ng mga kaanak nilang yon.
And we will continue to keep tabs on those developments as they happen. For now, thank you very much, Attorney Neri Colmenares.
Thank you. Maraming salamat.
And thank you for joining in on our conversation. I'm Brian Basa. Till the next follow-up, take care. Bye for now.